Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Throwbacks with the Technodrome. Hope you're all doing well.
Hi.
Duff, Scales, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
Glad to hear it. You excited
How are
about our
you?
topic? I'm doing well. I'm excited
Good.
about our topic today. Are you?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, very nostalgic with this topic.
Let's dive into it. So,
Let's
on our show, we discuss ways that we spent a lot of time, 80s, 90s, during our youth, and something that monopolized a big chunk of our time, starting around the mid 90s, was good old AOL. Duff, can you log us in? Let's go to that sign-in screen.
I would be happy to. It's kind of like when, we ring the gong when we're getting ready for something here. So let me connect us in. Hold on, let me just make sure. All right. And no one's on the phone, so
All
we're
right,
we're good.
Good.
Okay, just making sure. All right, here. Let me connect here. Okay, let's see. Let's hopefully it connects. Oh,
Oh, that doesn't sound good. These aliens
success.
are
We're
infiltrating
connected.
the line there.
We're connected.
The irony being there that that was dead air and we just filled it in with what sounded like static. Scales was hilarious because you must have moved something on your screen as that was happening. As soon as the sound hit, you got illuminated with light from the
Oh,
computer.
nice.
You got brighter.
I'm physically connected internally to the internet. Yes.
All right, let's see. Oh, the main page just popped up. Hold on. Let me see here.
Welcome.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Yes,
wait.
we're back.
Wait,
You've
do I
got
have
mail.
anything?
Oh,
We've got mail.
what
You've
else?
got pictures.
Whoa,
Ooh.
pictures. What kind of pictures?
You've got voicemail.
And you got a voicemail. Nice. I wonder who it's from.
Definitely never had that voicemail thing.
Neither
you
did
even
I.
did you even know that
I
existed?
did not. I
No.
did not know. No.
In pictures, I'm sure I heard it at some point, but I really
yeah.
mainly remember you got
No.
mail.
Just mail. Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
But yeah, that glorious 9 hour and 45 minute clip that you just played trying to log into AOL.
Oh, we
Yeah,
successfully did.
Yeah,
I'm on right now.
which was not a guarantee. How many times would you get up to the dial? First, you would hear the dial up, like you hear the
Yep.
da-da-da-da-da-da. What about when you get the busy signal? It's like,
Ugh. Son.
why is it busy? What's busy? And then like sometimes you knew there was an alternate number you could try if the first one wasn't working, and then you were able to get on.
Mhm.
You had friends waiting for you. It's like, I need to get online. I need to talk to them right now. People are talking. They might be talking about me, and they're not talking with me. Yeah, I mean that that's
The
successful.
whole, yeah, I was gonna say like the whole dialing up thing, like to anyone that's probably younger than, I don't know, 25 or so, like the concept of us having to dial in on a phone line in to get on the internet. Like think about how crazy
Yeah.
that sounds. Like they probably wouldn't believe me. Like if when Gigi grows up one day and I tell her this, she's gonna think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
It's like we're just always on the internet now. Like you just it's just there, right? Like
Yeah.
these kids don't know any different.
I mean,
It's-
we were
it's a thing.
lucky if a web page would take like less than 5 minutes to load.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If it ever did.
No, that
Sometimes it
did.
just
that
wouldn't.
too. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You could try to go on a web page, go cook dinner, eat it, and come back, and it's like, all right, cool, we're at 10%.
We're getting there.
Yeah, there was
yeah,
nothing. There was nothing worse than seeing that little thing to tell you how much time you have left, and it was like
Ugh.
243 hours, and you come back 300 hours left. What the hell? I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah. Did I go back in time? But as you alluded to, make sure nobody's on the phone. You got to make sure nobody's on the phone because you couldn't sign on to AOL if the phone line was being used. And if you were on and you picked up if let's say you were on and then like, your parents, your sibling picked up the phone, you get that horrible like sound
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
receiver,
Yep.
and it either sucked for them because they couldn't make the phone call, or they kicked you off and it sucked for you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then no one could call the house either, unless you had, an extra line, which I know became more of a thing. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that was then you get yelled at for being on the internet too long because, Uncle Flo is trying to call and.
Uncle Flo.
I don't know where that came from.
Oh, goodness gracious. And then also, like, you got charged for the amount of time that you were online, I think.
So
It's-
How did
yes,
that? I
no,
don't
it's
remember. Was it
it
was
in
it
the,
was it
in the early
megabytes or kilobytes or something that you
no,
got
so
charged for?
in
it's
the beginning
hours.
it was charged hourly, and then I want to say I was just reading about this. I think like maybe 97-ish, 98. They went to just a monthly, like
Yeah.
1999.
Was
But
it
in the
ever like
beginning, it
cell
was
phones,
hours.
free nights and weekends?
Probably not.
But I don't think that was across the board that they went to a flat rate, because I remember even seeing in high school those free internet hours, like 900 hours or like the 1,000
Yeah.
hours of AOL free.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I remember sometimes you see them like strewn about in the gutters.
I
Like, in the
forgot.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah, I
forgot
was just
about those things.
funny you mentioned that. So another thing I just read was like at one point 50% of all compact discs that were in circulation were AOL
Wow.
Are you
free
kidding?
hours.
That
Yeah,
many?
that's how many they were sending
Jeez.
out to people. Yeah.
Yeah, because you get them
Jesus.
as junk mail too.
Right. Right.
Even if
Isn't
you
that
already had
Apparent,
AOL, it's like,
even if you
what
had
are
it,
we doing with
yeah.
this?
I feel like you could
Apparently,
compare that to what was it in the '80s, where they would say that at least like almost every $20 bill or something had trace cocaine on it or something like that.
Yeah,
this was the 90s version of that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Apparently, it was like super successful campaign for them. 10% of every, or 10% of what they sent, they got action on. People signed
Wow.
up. And apparently, like with those kind of mail campaigns, like 1% is doing really well. So they were getting
Yeah.
10%. So
Nice.
all the money that they dropped on those CDs worked out for them.
How much of that money was going to Al Gore?
Good
Because he
point.
did create the internet.
That's true.
I just made a connection. And Al Gore was an unlockable player in NBA Jam.
Yes,
and
he
I think
was.
and
It was him and Clinton, wasn't it?
And his initials were NET, weren't they? So like
Was it?
Clinton was ARK, and you had to press start and A at the
Okay.
same
Oh, yeah.
time on the
Arkansas.
key.
NAT.
Yeah.
Yeah. And-
Net.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mind
There you
blown.
go.
Wow. Okay.
Look at that.
Look at that.
See?
You're welcome, everybody. By everybody, I mean all two of you. Um,
Oh, come on.
Before we dive into a little more about AOL, did you guys use or have any awareness of any pre-AOL internet providers or internet type providers? Like we used Prodigy in my house for a
That
bit.
we were also a Prodigy house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And,
we didn't. AOL was the first thing for us.
Okay.
Yeah, Prodigy.
For all intents and purposes, as a small child, it was the same thing. I know
Yeah.
that there are differences between like
AOL, I think, eventually
Prodigy
bought
pages.
Prodigy. So
Did
I think they, I think
Okay.
they eventually just bought them. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember playing Mad Maze on Prodigy and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? There was like a weekly game
Nice.
that came out
Oh, that's
yeah.
that you
cool.
could solve.
I mean, that was back in the day where you had to know, like, how to type in DOS and stuff, like changing
Yeah.
directories, opening programs by typing it out. There was no, as I think we call it a GUI back
Yeah.
then, a graphical user interface.
I don't think
Um,
I don't think my first computer had a mouse.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure it
that's
did.
probably
that-
right.
was that before or after your floppy disk? Sorry, I just love this old terminology that probably
and
younger
our-
audience would not know what the heck we're talking about.
Our computer had the floppy disks that were actually still floppy, not just
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't the diskette. It was
And
the
you
one that
had
was
to
about this
and you had to
big,
push it in and
yep,
lock it in because otherwise it wouldn't. Yeah. Yep.
It was going to come
It's funny
flying out.
Yeah,
Like, why?
and you look at it, you're like, wow, that must have held so much information on it. It barely held anything.
Yeah.
It's like a record. You would think that a
2
record held
megabytes.
so much, and it's like, nah, it's got a pretty strict time limit on it.
Man.
Okay, but we digress. So
Yep.
we sign into AOL, and then we get
Correct.
the welcome screen.
Mm.
Yeah.
And they had channels on the welcome screen, which never really clicked for me. I feel like I didn't really use them at all. Maybe when I was little, there might have been a kids one that I clicked on, but what did they
Yes.
have up there? They had news, sports,
Parts. Yep.
probably stocks and finance.
Yeah, so I have one. I have an image pulled up right now.
Ooh,
So
nice. You got
compute,
like the weather.
yeah, weather, computing, entertainment, families, kids stuff,
That's
interests,
generic.
influence, health, games, lifestyles, a lot of news, obviously,
Of
like
the
you
rich
said,
and famous.
personal finance, sports, shopping. Yeah.
Shopping.
These are so general, these
Yeah.
topics. Like, what
Yeah.
happens when you click on that? Like,
Yeah.
where does it bring you?
Take it to the most general page about kids. Oh, it's kids only, not kid stuff.
So I
Kids
feel like
only.
Oh.
I feel like I vaguely remember that being a thing, but don't remember what it was on.
Yeah.
I don't
What, it
remember
just
what was on it.
bring you just a
But then,
minesweeper?
oh, Minesweeper. But then you had next to all those little categories, right? You had the main thing that said welcome, and it said, today on AOL, and it had like a few links to like listen
Yeah.
to the newest clips from this artist, or this
Did
one
it have
says
that voice too?
Today on
AOL.
if you knew how to access it from MS-DOS, probably.
Yeah.
There's one on here called Pet of the Day. Hi, I'm Lily. I'm an 8-week-old Himalayan, and I love catnip. Like, what the hell? Who is clicking these things?
Oh God.
Milo and Moo.
Fair.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. And Milo just came up under me as you were talking about that. It's like, excuse me, catnip?
Oh
You're
man.
looking at their scales.
And then across the top, you have read emails, write emails, mail center, which
Oh.
wouldn't take you. And you had my files,
Sounds like it might be a chat
favorites, yeah, channels, internet, and so you could click internet while you're already on the internet. Wonder what that would
Oh.
do. And then
Whoa.
people.
It's like Inception.
Dream, dream.
You connect to the internet on the internet.
Well, because you're on the internet, but then it's like, no, you're not on the World Wide Web yet, though.
Yeah, exactly. A whole nother
You're not.
level
Wait.
of
You're
fun.
not on the line.
You're
Anybody?
in line.
Anybody?
Yeah.
No. That movie. Vince Vaughn. Yes. No.
No, got nothing.
And the intern. No. Or interns. No.
Yeah.
I need a
Okay.
soundboard of my
Sorry.
own so I can insert crickets whenever you say something. Hashtag cancel Duff.
For SARMs.
But yeah, I mean that was the only way that we were able to access websites for, I mean, the first few years of
Mhm.
AOL's existence. Like it was one-stop shopping for everything.
Yep.
All those channels, and it's like internet, and really we wanted to talk to people.
Yeah.
That was the big part about AOL.
That was the key. Yeah.
And what did you need to sign into AOL? Yeah, screen name.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Now, I just remembered there was one screen name. So the first one to register was the master account. That was the one who could call all the shots on the account. I think they had to, they might have even had to approve new screen names, and I think AOL had to approve your screen name. Like you had to make sure it wasn't taken,
Yep.
and then you waited a little bit before it was activated. It wasn't like it happened right away. But the screen name, like that was your chance to have an alias or an alter ego or an alter ego, as you might have said. Yeah, but that was going to be your online presence. That's your name.
Mhm.
And early internet days, for a pretty long time actually, you didn't want anything that resembled your name. It was supposed to be something fictitious, something with numbers. Like you didn't want it like
Oh, you had to
your-
have
your fir-
numbers.
yeah, your first name, your last name. You didn't want anything resembling your name, because then it's out there and people are going to steal it, and you have your information out there. You don't know what people are going to do with it. There was extreme and justified, I think, paranoia early on about the internet.
It's almost like they
that-
saw the future.
yeah, and now we just don't give a shit.
No.
We
See,
just
even that
went,
voice crack says that it's like,
You're all choked up.
I'm choked up. I mean, having that screen name is very important. It set the tone. Like you get a pop up and it says so and so would like to talk to you, and they're not on your buddy list, which we'll get into in a
Yeah.
little bit. It better grab that person and make them want to respond. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're gonna get blocked.
Yep. And also, so do you remember any of your old screen names? Either of you guys?
I remember my first one.
Yeah.
And it basically, yeah, the number that was in the name had to be either like the year that maybe you created it, the month or whatever, the number that corresponded to that, or you had to have your birthday in there somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
but for whatever reason, when I first started, I had a obsession with Corvettes. So my first ever one was made in, I think it was 1998. So I was a little late to the club here with those,
Yeah.
but C98 Corvette, real
Ooh.
clever.
Stuck
Okay.
the numbers in between
Because
there.
because apparently, if I'm not mistaken, 98 Corvette and Corvette 98 were taken. So whoever that guy
was the
is out
next
there,
best
if you're
option.
listening, I'm really pissed at you for taking that name. And then for whatever reason, the next year I had to create another one. So then I became C99 Corvette.
There you go. How'd you come up with that?
So basically, no, I'm not doing this again. And then I think I finally settled right after that, settled into one that I used up until basically AOL and AIM wasn't a thing anymore with Duffman. And then that
Yeah.
was, I think I had to go 58 121 for, because I think 121.85 was taken. So apparently someone,
What?
Duffman with my birthday was taken. So I had to go
What are
backwards.
the odds of that?
I don't know, some guy somewhere.
Did you have two? You had two N's at the end, didn't you, as well? Or no? Am I making that up?
You were
don't
talking
remember.
you were talking to somebody else.
No, I
Probably.
I had two N's in, like, that's more of like my gaming username that I use.
Oh, okay.
I had
Mixing
two N's
that up.
because
Okay.
that one also was mostly taken, so I had to add an extra N. So
Got it.
I mean, this is like, yeah, this was tough work making sure you had
Yeah.
the right name. How about you guys? What are you? What were yours? I remember yours, Cass, in college, but like, what were your earlier ones
Yeah,
that you had?
that was my popular. That was the one I had from probably like late high school onward. That was my enduring one, Slashaholic 27.
Mm-hmm.
I had
And number for the birthday, of course.
yeah, and I would. It was funny because sometimes you just get tired of having a screen name and make a new one, and then you have to IM. It was also a way
Yeah.
of. It's a way of
I
going.
am everybody. Hey, this is me.
It's a way of going low profile. Like if there are people who you knew were going to IM you when you signed in, and you didn't want to talk to them, and there was just a few people you want to talk to, you could just make a new screen name and be like, "Hey, it's me."
On the DL. Yeah.
I had like Iron Claw 85 from.
So you're a big fan of the Von Erich family.
No, I had no idea that was a thing. It was from Pro Wrestling on Nintendo. The giant,
Oh, yeah.
giant panther would go like this and give you the Iron Claw.
Yeah.
Just the Pit was one. It was a slash a Snake Pit song. I think I had like Phantom SCJ, Duke SCJ. I had a bunch of them, but yeah, the enduring one was Slashaholic 27.
Mm-hmm.
So as you were mentioning, people avoided using their their names. I just keep laughing to myself because so my parents didn't really use it. So really, I think mine was the master account, and they depended on me to get what they
Yeah.
needed off the internet. So my screen name was just Scalise 27 for a long time. And then, well, we can get into this later. Not to quote.
Yeah, that's my line.
either. Yeah, sorry.
What the heck?
when we switched to CompuServe.
All you have to do is call something iconic too, and then you got
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. When we switched to the iconic CompuServe, which was a
Nice.
offshoot of AOL, like the cheap version was like $5 less a month. Scalise 27, I think, couldn't be used because at that point AOL had bought CompuServe. You couldn't reuse the same screen names, so we just did the auto-generated, and it was Scalise 27286, which didn't mean anything. Just like they added 3 random numbers, and I was like, sounds good. We'll go with it. So those are the ones that I had pretty much through high school, and then in college, I switched it up and did WH, which for West Haven, where I was from, WH
Oh,
Scales.
yeah.
I
27.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
WH. Yeah.
Yeah, WH
All right.
Scales. Yeah.
Nice.
It's
I
funny
think,
how. Good.
No, you go ahead.
I was
You
just
go.
saying it's funny how we can still remember screen names from way back. It's like you could just associate people with their screen name. Think of
Oh yeah.
it's something like in that Rolodex inside your head that just pops up. It's like, oh, you remember the screen name, you remember their phone number from
Yep.
back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
What were you
those
saying?
are.
It's funny.
No, I was gonna make a connection now from like, you were telling that story before about how you created another profile so that like if you didn't want to talk to certain people, but you almost knew that when like I saw this with a few of my friends where as soon as I saw that name come on and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that name in a while. That person must be like pretty pissed at so and so, or maybe they're being really emo again tonight. And that was going to kind of lead me into the next part of our little talk here with profiles. So I don't know how much like effort you guys put into yours, but I feel like that was also a huge way to kind of describe how you're feeling, and then even away messages. But I feel like there are two kind of thoughts to this. During dial-up days, obviously you couldn't be on the internet as much. You signed on, whatever, more of the buddy list and AIM and all that stuff wasn't as big because, again, you can only be on for a certain amount of time before you had to get off until like cable modems and DSL and all that stuff started to come around where you could leave it on. And then away messages kind of became a thing and profiles. And so, yeah, I don't know if you guys remember.
I feel like the profile was always popular. The away messages, like when you could stay.
Eventually, became more of a thing.
Even in the AOL days, it was like something that you generally put a lot of time into, some more than others and it depended on your computer's capabilities. So like, I think what they called skins that you could down, or was that
skin?
Winamp had skins too.
Winamp had skins, definitely.
But yeah, you can have different background color on your profile, different fonts. Some people will put music in their profile, which I was never able to do.
Lyrics.
Yeah, of course.
I put lyrics. You got to put, if you were in a relationship with somebody, put their initials and the date.
It's all very important things.
And then usually that person with the initials, it's like their username was something with XOXO, sweet something, XOXO, whatever.
Capital X, lower O.
Obviously.
Oh, yeah. That's the profiles with the alternating capital and lowercase. That was also like screen names, too. That was a big Guido and Guidette thing to do. Like the alternating capitals and lowercases, and then same in the profile.
A lot of 69s.
I remember in AIM, so you listed your name and then it said maiden name. I put Iron. I was like, that was so fucking clever.
Nice.
Jesus. Oh God. But profiles. That was a big deal. Like, you had to put all your information. You had to tell the world and tell your friends who you were and how you were feeling maybe that day. And then, kind of getting into a little bit of an extension of that. A little later down the road, I don't know if you guys remember sub profiles. That was when it was more just like kind of through AIM where you could, it provided a link. You could click on that and then it would basically bring you almost to a web page that you can edit. And then like you could have different categories and you could put like a ton of stuff in there and just like keep going with like crazy, stupid stuff. I don't know if you guys...
that. I vaguely remember that.
I remember it being a thing, but it couldn't tell you what it looked like. I definitely never had one.
Okay. I mean, I know that was a thing it was, I think, more in the later days. Because again, this was, I mean, cell phones and stuff, they were a thing, but we didn't really text as much. It wasn't like that was our main way of communication. In college, it was AIM. That's how we would communicate. Like, hey, you'd stay on. Oh, let me reach out to so-and-so about... the ethics paper or whatever. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you type like that or talk like that.
You stick your elbows out.
Like Frankenstein.
But it's like that's how we talk to each other. And I don't know.
So, do you guys remember my AIM in AOL or not AOL, but my AIM strike for a year? How I didn't. I didn't go on. Like, I got mad that. We lived in a 5-man house, and our friends lived in another 5-man house, which was a 3-minute walk. And everybody would be talking to each other on AIM instead of being together and hanging out.
This was the start of what we do today.
Exactly.
Stan is an elder millennial.
Exactly. I'm an exennial.
Exennial,
But I saw...
Sounds contagious.
I saw this coming. Like this, I didn't like the way that we were communicating with each other because... we could have been hanging out in person and just like BSing and like, but instead we're all siloed off on our laptops talking, to somebody in the same room or one room over. It's like they're right there. Like,
Talk
go
like
talk to 'em. Like,
humans.
go
Yeah.
sit in the living room, or let's all go hang out instead of just like looking at stupid shit online and talking to
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I do
went on
vaguely
strike.
remember that.
I
Yeah.
didn't. Junior year, about halfway through, I didn't go on at all, and then I picked it up again a little bit senior year, but not as much as I used to before that.
I do
On
remember that.
just on the screen name topic, I just want to say because I said I was going to give the Rev a shout here that he was a pioneer with using his name when everybody was still. I remember he was Y2 Jericho, 42, whatever, and
Nice.
then one day it's just Brian Halpin. So,
Just his
while-
name? What?
while the rest of the world is trying to desperately to hide their identities, it's like nope, Brian Halpin.
Of
And I still
course.
think
Oh, God.
my favorite all time screen name is probably Todd, who we all love. My friend
Oh,
Todd.
I thought that was
It
his name.
Yeah,
No,
just
it
Todd.
was-
Oh,
it
wait,
was-
look.
His, he
Oh,
just
there he
Just
is.
Todd.
yeah, is sexy guy with 3 O's. Sexy guy OOOH.
That's amazing.
classic.
Sexy guy
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Oh,
So and then when you would talk to somebody, we take for granted that when we text now, yeah, sometimes you don't have service, but generally you'd send a text and within 2 seconds you could even see like an ellipsis that the other person's typing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just send texts out, you send IMs out into the ether. You're sending messages, you wait for a reply, and all of a sudden you hear the door close and that person signs off.
Damn
And
it.
they sign back on, sign back on 2 seconds later, and then they're off. So they're like, sorry, my internet sucks. Like, I booted off.
Goodbye.
And like, you couldn't have a conversation. It
Goodbye.
just went nowhere.
Goodbye.
and then you could just tell, yeah, their internet's acting up.
Yeah, or it would say so-and-so is typing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you just
Yeah.
never get anything.
Never get it. Yeah.
And it was always a dispute, like, is it on your end or on my end? No, it's my internet's fine. Arguing, like,
And then,
where the delay
yeah,
is.
maybe like an away message would go up and you just say AFK. And then you just knew. You just knew.
Yeah.
They were not near their keyboard.
Away from keyboard. I didn't know that
Yeah.
one.
I forgot about that one until you just
Oh,
mentioned
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, you wanted to bring up away messages.
Yeah, I just feel like that was a extension a little bit of those profiles where, once it became more of a thing where you could stay online and it wasn't just through dial-up, that was just a way where I feel like a lot of people during a period of time just turned very emo, even if you weren't emo, because everybody just decided, I'm going to tell the world how I am in a song lyric. And then when everybody responds to it and leaves me a message and they're like, hey, are you okay? Like, what is this lyric about? That was your turn to just say, it's cool. I'm fine. I'm good.
So emo.
It's just you did it for attention or whatever. Or it's like you got to let the world know eating dinner, BRB. Like, who cares?
They care.
Why do I need to know that? Why did I? And I look back at that, and that's a little cringy. That
Yeah.
I was guilty of that too. But like,
Oh yeah, guilty of all the above.
ugh.
I also would put like I don't know if some song lyrics or like movie quotes that looking back were extremely off color and it's like what the hell's wrong with me, but it's just ones I thought were funny, like that line from the Burbs when Art says he's saying, Ray, you're chanting like I want to kill everyone, Satan is good, Satan is our pal. It's like, yeah, I thought that was funny. Nobody else is
Well,
gonna read that and think that
Taking it out of
quasi-normal.
context, if you don't know, then you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell is Slashaholic talking about here?
No, like Guns N' Roses. Some other ones that I remember had Eddie Money was an
Oh,
away
nice.
message.
Yeah.
Nice.
Steven Seagal, I think, was an away message.
It just said Steven
Anybody
Seagal.
seen Richie? Is that what it was?
No, it was just Steven Seagal.
That's all it was.
Yeah, and Eddie Money. That was another away message.
That
I had.
was
That was in
just that.
college. Yeah.
I forgot about those.
Shouting out stars.
I need to go back to those days just to use AIM.
But you know what? It was so
one day.
quaint because only your buddies could see it, and now that people just do that with Facebook and
It's true.
all the social
It's
media.
not the
where-
same.
No,
It's just not the
terrible.
same. Oh well.
It's terrible. What's up, everybody? We hope you're enjoying our discussion so far. We unfortunately had to cut taping a little bit short, but lucky for you, that means there's a part 2 coming. So just make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you can be notified when our new video comes out, and we will see you all in the near future.